Question of the day: what is your favorite nature-based game? So you've got games like Parks, you've got games like Cascadia. All these come to mind. So question of the day: what is your favorite nature-based board game? Because today we're taking a look at Yosemite from WizKids, or Yosemite, if you didn't know how to pronounce it, but it's Yosemite. Obviously, I knew that. This is a game in which two players are trying to collect the best photographs from a trip to Yosemite. It's an abstract, somewhat game. You're moving a piece around the board to collect the things that you need, and you're taking movements based on which animals you land on the prior turn. So let's take a look right now at what Yosemite is, what it does. We'll come back up, talk final thoughts right now. Oh, hey, before we get any further in this review, don't forget the Dice Tower merch store is open and orders are in, and the product is here. We're getting ready to ship out, so I can't wait to show you off some of them in the next day or so. Love this, so excited about it, so make sure to go to dicetowerstore.com. All right, this is Yosemite laid out for two players because it is a two-player only game. You varmint! That's a Yosemite Sam joke. Anyway, what we have here is you're going to shuffle up the animal tiles. You're going to give everybody 3, then you're going to make a 5x5 grid. Now, you would not choose your starting place just yet. You will choose that in a minute. Put the tent tokens here. The white tent token will be off to the side until someone takes the first tent action. Then, put the 5 landmark tokens on the board as here. Everybody starts with 2 fish. Then you're going to have 2 judge cards. This will be the most animals of the end of the game. And then you're going to shuffle up the photo cards, take out 10 of them, and put 2 photo cards here. The game ends when there's only 1 photo card left here, i.e. there's no photo cards left to put back out in the deck there. Plays over 3 phases. You're going to, first of all, choose to, if you want to, you can eat fish. Now, essentially that means you're going to move your fish token down, but you can reposition yourself for the start of the turn. These are my starting tiles here. Now, the reason these matter is you're going to trade in these tiles that you're going to collect for the photo. So currently we're looking for, and the place matters later, but we need a bighorn, a cougar, and a rattlesnake. Currently I have a rattlesnake and nothing else. This one calls for a fox, a cougar, and a rattlesnake. So we have 2 of those. So I should probably go for the cougar. So the way this works is you're going to move based on the animal power that you're on. Now, this is where I'm going to ding the game pretty dang heavily because there's not a reference card. Now, granted, it is easy to memorize once you get it, but it's in the rule book instead of just being a reference card. All the animals move differently. Not wildly differently, but differently enough. So for instance, the red fox, let's say I'm starting on the red fox. I would then move 2 spaces in any direction. So 1, 2, orthogonally, of course. The black bear moves exactly 2 spaces in 1 direction, which means if you're here, and you could not move this direction, you would have to move this way, or this way. If you're here, you could not move that way, and vice versa. It forces you to move 2 spaces. A couple of these will allow you to move opponents. The black bear actually allows you to move the opponent as well, which is a nice little perk because you can manipulate them based on what you think they're going for. The bighorn sheep moves as many spaces you want in 1 single direction. Obviously, it's ramming forward. The rattlesnake moves up to 2 spaces, and if you land on an opponent, you choose to move them a space away, which is pretty nice. The cougar allows you to pounce to the edge of the board. So let's say we're here. I could then stop here, 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 or here, based on that. You can. The cougar allows you to move through your opponent or land on the space they are in. So then what happens is you're going to take the action of the card. So there are 4 actions here. You have green, blue, white. There are 3 actions. I can't count. 3 actions. Let's do the easiest, the tent. If you were to take the tent action, which means you have taken the movement of the space that you're on. So the sheep, we're going to move any direction. Let's move here. The sheep allows the tent token, so the first person to place it puts it on their side of the board. At the end of the game, you're going to score points according to where this token is. If it's on your side, you'll score that many points. However, if you get it to the 3rd place and then you take another tent action, you'll take these permanent single bonus points for the end of the game. So that's the tent action. The fish action means you're going to get a fish. Now, one thing you can do instead of taking an animal action, you can move 1 single space and bump your fish up. Now, the reason the fish matters, you can spend as many fish as you want to reposition yourself per fish. So 1, 2, 3 would be 3 fish. We have 3 now, but 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to start from the snake. That's what the fish action does. The last one is the photo action. You can trade in your animal tiles for the photo card here. Now, Inside of this deck are the 5 landmark tokens. You're going to shuffle those up. When they come out on the board, and I'll show you one of those, when they come out on the board, you're going to put the token on them. So once you've taken the movement, once you've taken the action, you'll then take this into your hand. Now that timing is important because you couldn't get a photo that you need this turn and take the photo action. So let's just say that the Tulum, I don't know how to say it, Tulum Meadows comes out. You'll then take this token. When someone lands on that space and starts their next turn, they're going to take this token. Now at the end of the game, you're going to score based on a chart here per photo you have if you have that token. Now you can get pretty high. If you have all 4 photos in one place, or 4 photos in one place, you get 14 points. 1 is 2, 2 is 5, 3 is 9. So it's a nice little perk. You're going to play until there's only 1 photo card left out here. You're going to score points. Points are based on those tent tokens, where the tent is, the points in the top right of each photo card, 3 for this one. And then also you're going to judge to see who has the most, in our case, bears and foxes. There are others. Based on the photos you have, the ones in the photos themselves, plus any leftover in your hand. So the person with the most points wins the game. That is how you play Yosemite. So that is Yosemite. It is a beautiful game. First of all, the game looks great. Now, my only gripe is that, yes, the 5 area cards are good. The animal cards look great. The picture cards look great. But there's just not enough art. I would like to see some more imagery from Yosemite National Park. It's a huge place. But art looks good. Now, my big gripe that I'm going to hit it for is there is no art direction when it comes to the animal movements. Now, granted, they're easy to memorize eventually, but when you first start playing this game, there's no art direction on how to do this. So you have to figure out, okay, what does the ram do? What does the bear do? What does this do? And you have to memorize that. So yes, it's in the rule book, but I would much prefer a reference card for it. But the game, that's what it does. So how does it play? I like the way this plays a whole lot. The idea of you move based on which animal you've landed on prior or the one you get on with the fishing. I like the fact that you can manipulate it with the fish. I like the fact that you have to set up multiple turns ahead. If you like thinky but not too heavy games, you're really going to like Yosemite. The one drawback obviously is a 2-player only, but plenty of games are like that, and this one's a quick one, so it's easy to get 2 players to play quick versus playing something like Star Wars Rebellion. Really like Yosemite. It's a pretty game. It's easy to learn. It's easy to pick up. It's easy to master. Well, I shouldn't say it's not easy to master. It's easy to get better at. Yosemite from WizKids is a definite win for me. Go pick it up. If you like nature-based games, you're definitely going to like Yosemite. So I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. Dice Tower Brian. Until next time, we'll see you.